hearts that you want are just difficult to pull. Like, so the Rhino heart is just like almost damn near impossible. I pulled one and I've opened like what 60 packs, and it's just like, why is Rhino heart so difficult? I got Kid Kalos on my first try. And so it's all that, but then like you keep getting all the Vernaself stuff too, right? So I got like the little UR one, and I got like the goddess, and I got like their spells. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? Like, yeah, this is fantastic. All the Vernaselfs, I got them. So if I want to build a deck with the Vernaselfs, I can, But like, but the thing that I'm like, I'm trying to build tier, but I keep getting Vernaselfs. So I was like, hey, might as well see what you can build with them. So I started looking, and like in the deck list, they were like, oh, hey, here's something that works really well with them for no reason. It's Punk, because Vernaselfs help Earth monsters, and Punks are mostly Earth. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I never thought of that.
Yes. Speaking of Punk, we're 2 minutes late.
No, we're not 2 minutes
No,
late.
he's been live this whole time.
We've been live for-
He's been live this whole fucking time.
Hey everyone! You have entered the battle phase. It is I, the Midnight Bard, your favorite bard. And joining me as always is everybody's favorite co-host, Hammer Fanon Borganon himself, Derringer.
My life is pain.
And also joining us, his long friend of the channel, Brother Gamma. We've been live this whole time. You had no idea.
I had no idea.
And
I sit with the stream open so I can hear it.
Yeah,
and make sure everything sounds fine. And then here you are, we're live. I'm gonna keep talking about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Dare's like, you're not gonna catch me slipping, baby. Like, this has happened too many times. You're not gonna catch me slipping.
No, now everybody that's watching the stream knows what you're actually building.
Well, no, actually, I started it like when I was in the middle of my pulling tier elements rant. So, yeah, so like it's that. Hello, Lurk Braun. Hello, Pimp Demon. Yes, I miss both of you guys. Both of you. And yeah, so today we have a interesting show planned for you guys. Here's the thing. A while ago, we talked about which games were our favorite. We did a top 10 list for each of us, and that ended up being like almost a 4.5-hour stream. So today, we figured let's do top 5 games that are most frustrating for us stream, where we're going to talk about the games that we've played that were either super frustrating, like, they were difficult, or we couldn't understand them, couldn't get our head around it, or, we were hyped for them and they ended up being a huge disappointment. Or, any other reason, like, why did this game frustrate you specifically? And I would love to hear what you guys in the comments have to say about which games frustrated you the most. We're going to tell you ours, but I want to hear yours as well. Well, go on. Comment them. No, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously though, like, yes, tier elements, Vernaself Punk. What is life? Life is pain if you are Dare. Dare's just like checked out.
Yeah.
He's like,
Just sitting here like I fucking hate lists.
All right, so I think that the way that I structured this was Dare, then Gamma, then me, and I put like you guys' lists in the order that you sent it to me. Dare numbered his, Gamma you did not. So we're
No, I didn't.
yeah. So I just put it basically in the order that you listed them. So for starters, I guess let's hop right on into it. Dare, you said that your number 5 was CS:GO.
Yeah.
Why?
If you've never played CS:GO,
I have not.
It's one of those. It's one of those if you know type deals.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
have.
and if you don't know, then you know.
Well, I don't know at all. So, like, would you mind elucidating me?
It's one of those. So it's a team game, which you'll see like a. My mind went blank. You'll see a pattern with a lot of my list. they're team games or multiplayer games.
Right.
So, like, first getting a good team is one thing.
Oh yeah.
There are no such things as good teams on CS:GO.
Oh yeah.
There's also a bunch of hackers, which are mildly amusing, but I mean, it's also not amusing when they're on the other team. The game's just full of bullshit.
Hello, Lord Braun. Welcome back.
So you walk around a corner and you get one shot by a pistol that shouldn't one shot you, but they got lucky and got a headshot. So that's just life. It's a game full of bullshit, but I also like it.
Well, you are actually just in time, Lurk Braun. This is Dare's first, so we're counting backwards from 5. So this is like the first one of Dare's, and we're gonna count down to the ones that frustrated us the most. So according to Dare, CS:GO is just one of those team games that's just full of crap. Yeah, but you enjoy it at the same time, right?
Enjoy is a word that people could say.
I feel like duty bound, I guess is another correct word. Like, I downloaded this and I'm gonna enjoy it for the life of me.
I'll enjoy it or I'll die trying.
It's just like the grind, right? You get on and you're like, am I having fun yet? No? Well, I spent like... well,
I'm not having enough fun.
I'm not having enough fun. Going. We gotta keep going. I think it's the gamer mantra, right? We can't end on a loss. But
even when you win, though, you're losing.
Even when you win, you're losing. So it's just like now CS:GO, as far as I've seen, generally has like a very how do I put this? Not happy game, like what's it called, community, but they all agree that the game is good, but you know that they're still not.
The game is great,
right?
The game's great, but like the community is toxic. The game is toxic. CS:GO 2 is going to be toxic.
Oh,
my question for you there is this though: is it as toxic as League of Legends?
I feel like League of Legends gets its own spot on every list that we ever mentioned, because it's like, oh, see, League of Legends should be good, but like League of Legends is also me.
I could say a lot of things about League, but League was not on my list, so I'm not going to say things about League.
Yeah, so I mean, like, it's a similar idea though, right? It's a MOBA game, like a multiplayer online battle arena game. Yeah, so like you log on, you get paired up with some randos or friends if you happen to have any of those, and
then you spend the next hour to 2 hours of your life being miserable.
Yeah, and then
you do it again,
and then you spend the next hour to 2 hours of your life just hating life. It's great. It's fantastic. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, like, some games are light, and this is why it's so frustrating, right? Because like I imagine that you must have. Yeah, here's the thing. I imagine that at one point this game must have been like, oh yeah, I love this game. But it's just like the more you play it, the more you're like, okay, I still love it, but what the hell?
Yeah, it was when I initially downloaded it.
Yeah, when you initially downloaded it.
And then about 2 games after that, I was like, why am I playing this? Why have I not downloaded it or deleted this yet?
If you say a game I like, I'm going to be mad, Bard, and better, Bard. Yeah, so there will be some games on here that I know that some people have enjoyed. I will put it that way. I know that some people have enjoyed some of these games because I saw all of Gamma and Dare's lists, and I'm like, I know that these are popular games. I feel like mine in this particular case are going to be a little more obscure. I can almost guarantee it. So let's move. Did you have anything else to say about that one, Dare?
No.
CS:GO is cool shit. Go.
Do you not know what it stands for?
Counter-Strike, Global Offensive.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's actually cool shit. Go.
It's cool shit, go. At first, I used to think that this was like a mobile game, like in the same vein as Pokemon Go, except that you were like going around in augmented reality shooting other players.
I mean, you can play it as a mobile game. I don't know how well that'll work out for you, but you'll probably get a ban or two on your account.
Oh, I see. That took a dark turn. Alrighty, moving on to Gamma's number 5 is Disgaea.
That game.
Which Gaia?
Disgaea.
Disgaea.
Ah! It's not that Gaia, it's this Gaia. This guy over here. Okay, I'm done with that joke. All right, brother. Yeah, but you want to tell us what it is about this Gaia that drives you nuts?
What drives me nuts about that game was the gameplay.
The gameplay.
Yes, the gameplay itself is it's just like the game that you're playing online, Fire Emblem Engage. But at that time, I did not even know.
Yeah.
What type of game it was.
Yeah, tactical RPGs. It's the one where you have like a grid and then you can move your characters X amount of spaces and, yeah. And
everybody. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, what's funny is the tactical RPGs caught me off guard too, because the first one that I ever encountered was one called Final Fantasy Tactics. And I was expecting a turn-based thing. And it ended up being like, nah, man, move your characters around. And I was like, move my characters around? What? So, it turns out it's a genre of RPGs. It's a subgenre of RPGs.
Yeah, it's its own thing. Its own beast.
Yeah. And
figuring out every character, going like, okay, what's the range of this character? What can I do to increase it, if at all?
Lady Spookaria has joined us. Hey, Lady Spookaria.
Hi, lady.
We are talking. Yeah.
She is actually, despite popular belief, not a vampire.
Yeah.
She's not.
It's very true. Lady Spookaria is a demon. Yeah, and you and I, Derringer, we're Oni.
No, you shut your fucking mouth right now. God, piece of shit.
We're
not.
We're bros.
We're not. All in the stream right now. We'll all go home.
But Bart told me the lore, and I'm like, oh, cool, that's some cool lore. And then you're like, yeah, hell no.
No, we don't talk about the lore of how Brad and Bart are Oni.
Brad and Bard.
Dare him.
No, Brad.
You're Brad now. Oh Lord.
He even told me like, oh yeah, there is an Oni mob boss, and I'm the ninja. I'm like, that sounds cool. And now you're like, hell no, take that shit back.
Lady Spookaria
thought he did something with being like, oh, we're bros, we're Onis. I was like, do you even know what that means? You know what? Look it up. Oh, I immediately regret saying that.
Yeah, so Lady Spookaria is a little confused. As we're supposed to be talking about our top 5 games that were the most frustrating for us to play. But when you arrived, apparently, like we just went off the rails. We're just so happy to see you.
Don't act like it was her arriving that caused this. We do this all the damn time.
Yes. As a matter of fact, the reason we go off the rails is because of me. But I am happy to see Lady Spookaria. So
and spend 30 minutes talking about Spider-Man when they're supposed to be talking about an app.
Okay, so we were talking about the app.
No.
It's not like how I'm being used as an excuse. No, but no, it's just she's a demon. We're Oni. We're bros.
If you keep that up, Derek's gonna cut this off immediately.
I can just tell, like, I don't have to see Bard to know exactly what facial expressions on his face. He's got like this fucking shit-eating grin. He's like, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it.
It's true. No, but so for those not in the know, like whenever I was deciding the channel, I told Dare, I was like, well, I can make VTuber avatars for us. And I'm like, my VTuber, my PFP on Twitter, on YouTube for the longest time is an Oni. So I was like, I can make me an Oni, I can make you an Oni, because we're bros. We're bros, we're Oni, we're bronies. And he says, and he was like, do you even know what that means? And I was like, no, what does it mean? And he's like, look it up. And I looked it up, and it turns out that
the My Little Pony fandom has a name, don't they?
They do, and I was completely unaware. I was just like, oh no, this is a terrible thing. I was like, no, we're not that. And Dare's like, stop it. So ever since, like every now and then, I'll just for funsies, I'll just bring it back up. I'm like, hey, you remember how we're Onis and we're bros?
What was it last year or was it the year before? Pimp Demon asked if we've ever met in person.
Yeah, we met in person last year.
We held hands and
we did, because we're bros.
Kissed each other goodnight and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, of course. If you're not kissing your bros goodnight, are you even bros?
You gotta kiss the homies goodnight.
You gotta kiss the homies goodnight. Yeah, absolutely.
If you ain't kissing the homies goodnight, then can you really say that you're homies?
Now,
in the forehead, right?
And sure, but that being said, Brother Gamma, we have strayed very far from your number 5 pick, which was this
but
guy.
It was hilarious.
See, yes. King knows. King kisses all his bros.
Yeah. King kisses all of his bros on the forehead, right? Sure. But anyway, you were saying Disgaea is a frustrating game for you because...
Yeah, just because of the game, just because of the way it played. But later on, over time, I grew fond of it because of the comedy in it.
Yeah.
Just everything. There's one of the things that you equip is called ABC gum,
mm-hmm.
and I'm like, hey, I didn't even know what ABC gum. I even asked the missus at one point, like, what does this mean? And she told me, you never had ABC gum? Oh, I'm like, never.
I'm gonna.
That means already being.
What is
ABC gum was great, but you never had ABC gum either.
It says here that ABC Gum is a musical artist. I'm Googling it right now. Is ABC Gum...
You never had ABC Gum?
No.
That's already being chewed gum.
What is it? Oh,
That's
already been chewed. Oh.
Yeah.
I was so confused. I was like, what is happening? I didn't understand. Like, you guys are like, already been chewed. I was like, yeah, by you, right? Like, no? No? Okay, so you equip ABC Gum. What does the ABC Gum do?
It increases your stats.
How?
It gives you... I think it gives you actually more defense and more SP power.
Okay.
I think the how is more on the line of how does that actually, like, logically make sense?
Yes, like how does it...
let's put it this way. What if it was ABC Gum from one of your favorite actresses?
I still don't think that my stats would increase.
Your height will increase, which will your stats will increase in a way.
I mean, I guess. I suppose. Lurkbraun in the chat says that his number 5 is Fortnite. I can understand.
Number 1 victory royale, yeah, Fortnite.
Yeah,
get down. Go to the corner right now.
Is there a song?
Start singing.
Is there a song? I didn't even know this.
Oh my God, Bard! I
did not know that either. But wow, I thought that you were actually coming up with the song on the go.
I know. I was about to say, Dare's freestyling.
These motherfuckers have never heard Chug Jug with you.
No.
Nope.
Anyway.
Fucking educate yourself.
I want to know what your number 5 is, Bard.
Sure. Let's move on to Bard's number 5. Number 5 for me is Kingdom Hearts 3. And here's...
I'm confused.
Yes. Why?
Because you sold me Kingdom Hearts like it's a masterpiece. Go get it. And now you tell me it's your number 5.
100%. No, Kingdom Hearts is a great game. Kingdom Hearts 3 sucks. So
you have successfully pissed off Pimp Demon and
I
Lord Braun.
knew it. I knew somebody was gonna get mad about this. But here's the thing.
No, you pissed off Pimp Demon with your pick. You pissed off Lurk Prawn with the fact that you didn't know about Chug Chug.
No, I didn't know. So
it's like the biggest fucking meme for Fortnite.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never played Fortnite. But that being said, here's what I have to say about Kingdom Hearts 3 is Kingdom Hearts 1 grew on me. I didn't think I was gonna like it. I was like, okay, I'll play it, but I don't know if I'm gonna like it. Then after having played it, I was like, okay, that was a good game. Kingdom Hearts 2 was so much better. Oh my gosh, it was just like everything that I wished would happen in Kingdom Hearts 1 happened in Kingdom Hearts 2. And your character has aged up. He looks cooler. He's no longer wearing the Ronald McDonald suit with the red jumpsuit with the big yellow clown shoes. He's got moves that make him look super cool. He can like dash, and like he dashes like so fast that there's like an after image of him and stuff. The different drive forms which give him different abilities, like the Valor form makes her better at melee combat. The Wisdom form, what's it called? Lord Mordor. No, Kingdom Hearts is light. The Wisdom form gives him long range magic abilities and so on and so forth. And then just like it just was so cool. It was a really good game. And then we waited like, what was it? Lord Mordor, help me out with this one. Was it 10 years for Kingdom Hearts 3? From the release of Kingdom Hearts 2, it was more than 10 years, I'm pretty sure, for Kingdom Hearts 3 to release. And the worst part about it is that we knew it was coming because there was like all these little cryptic trailers and shit released by Square Enix where they're like, oh yes, Kingdom Hearts 3, oh, the mystery of the Keyblade War, so on and so forth. And like they basically got us chewing at the bit like the entire time, right? And then whenever it finally releases, they release such an unfinished game that it was just like, what the hell is this? You had 10 plus years, and and whenever they start releasing like screen caps of it, okay, it looks fun, looks good, and it was just, you could tell it was rushed as hell. Like this game was so blah. And I guess that's kind of the reason why I find it so frustrating. It's not because it's bad, because maybe it's a little good, but it's very blah. For the time that we waited, this should have been a masterpiece. And the story's all over the place. The gameplay is so, it's very mid. And there's like these features that just come in with the gameplay that's just like so like who thought that this was a good thing, but Terra North, Bard, Terra North, yes. So we had some good things in it. It's not that it was just a complete flunk, but it just, for the time that I waited, for the amount that I was hyped, I feel like this should have been a home run, and it just wasn't. And now there's talk of Kingdom Hearts 4. I wonder, am I gonna have to wait another decade? And whenever we finally get around to it, like, is it gonna be rushed again? And there's talk that maybe like what happened was that it was the team was stretched out thin because they weren't just working on Kingdom Hearts 3, they were also working on like Final Fantasy 15, I think. And Final Fantasy 15, from my understanding, I never played it, so I don't know, was also kind of mid. So I'm like, so you split the team to make 2 mid games when you could have kept them together to make one really good one. I don't know.
I will say something about 15 though.
Yes.
They ruined it.
They ruined it.
They had a good thing coming with Final Fantasy 13 Versus. You were supposed to be straight up evil. You look like a total gangster mob boss if you look at the previews of that game.
Yeah.
Now, with 15, you're a boy band.
You're a boy band, yes. So like it's that's basically all I have to say about it. Kingdom Hearts 3 should have been better. It wasn't, and here's the thing, and I agree with Pimp Demon. I was super hype about Kingdom Hearts 3 because I love Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. I even liked Birth by Sleep, which was the PSP game, and Dream Drop Distance I never played. Chain of Memories was okay, it was a little weird, but yeah, so like I'm a fan of the Kingdom Hearts franchise. So whenever they released Kingdom Hearts 3 and it was just, what the hell is this? I was just like, maybe not. But anyway, Dare, your number 4 is Fallout 76.
Speaking of games that were released half-baked.
Oh, shoot.
Fallout 76.
The game is a lot better now than what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I played since the beta stages, the beta stages of Fallout 76, and it was horrible on release. Like the amount of spaghetti guys you would come across, the horrible rubber banding issues, the instances of things just getting deleted out of your inventory and everything. It was bad. It was really bad.
It looks like Lady Spukaria agrees with you. She says Fallout 76 has gotten a lot better.
Oh yeah, and it's still not the greatest game in the world, but there are a lot fewer there's a lot fewer bugs with it now than there was. The main problem I have with it currently is that there's just not enough content being added into the game that isn't just here's cosmetics, here's this. They need to have more substantial updates that add playability to the game. That being said, they have fixed a lot of the things that were broken with the game.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I forgot about all the scandals.
I remember about the canvas bags. I'm not familiar with Fallout, but I remember the canvas bags was a huge deal.
Yeah, you're supposed to get a nice canvas bag, and they sent out I think cheap, shitty nylon bags. There was a collector's edition that you could get that had a T65 power helmet, I think.
Yeah. And
they had mold in them.
What?
Yeah. They got recalled because the power helmets arrived to people and they were just covered in mold.
What? So
there was a horrible run of people hacking, where at one point there was a script that someone wrote that you could go on, you could download this cheat hack engine, go onto a server, click a button, and steal every item on the server.
What?
From players, from the environment, you would get every item on the server, and it would crash the server.
Wow.
And they had the whole fiasco with Nuclear Winter, which was Fortnite was getting really big, PUBG was getting really big. How do we combat this? Let's make a battle royale in Fallout.
Okay.
which will just be swarmed with a bunch of hackers.
Well, that sucks.
So it wasn't, for me, it wasn't really like the game or the community, because the community in this game is actually amazing. Like, I've seen so many times, like, on the map, it'll show the Vault 76 was where you leave out of when you complete the tutorial, and there'll just be like a level 1 at that location, and then you'll see like level 100 plus people go to that location, and they just drop like stim packs and like starter weapons and stuff for that person.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's the community in the game is amazing, but the game itself was like a dumpster fire on release, and it still has like some glaring issues, mainly not having any like content updates that are worthwhile.
I think that the biggest thing with that is probably just the game industry as it is right now. That since most games are kind of like come with like an online connectivity thing, they feel like they don't have to fix every bug on release because they can always patch it down the line. And I feel like that's a slippery slope as far as complacency goes, because it's basically like, hey, you know what, is the game not perfect on release? Fine, we'll just patch it as we go. And to me, that's just not good, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Spookaria said that she had a person run up and give her 100 stim packs right away and something else, and she just waddled home. That's a common occurrence. Like, whenever me and my friends would give new players stuff, we would like try to limit it to like, here's 10 of each thing. That way you're not super over encumbered.
Yeah.
But speaking of the over encumbered thing, that was another like thing that the community actually had a big issue with.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much a bobby pin weighs?
Not a lot. If we're comparing it to a real life bobby pin, just a little bit.
Yeah, it's just like a real life bobby pin.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't say they weigh 1 pound each?
I would not say such. No.
Because Bethesda said that they weighed 1 pound.
What kind of bobby pin is that?
It's solid lead.
So if you were wanting to like do lock picking, you could only carry like a couple bobby pins before it just got like ridiculously heavy.
That's
and they
funny.
didn't fix that for like the better half of a year.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I want to address Lurk Broad says that his number 4 least favorite is most frustrating is Skyrim, and that's a Bethesda one too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's Bethesda one that they've released like 13 times. Coming out next year on the Skynet.
Because people keep buying. And look,
it's a really good game.
Yeah, it is.
Like, Skyrim is. It came out in like 2011 or 2012.
Oh, I remember.
And it's still, like, I was playing it just the other day and I was enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's in my opinion, I'm like, see, whenever you take a long time to release a game, it should come out Skyrim quality. You know, like, where is it buggy? Sometimes, maybe. But holy crap, is there a lot of stuff for you to do? You know, like, that's kind of something that I like it whenever companies do, is like, yeah, you know what, it's going to be janky sometimes, sure, we understand that we can't fix everything, but we fixed it as much as we could possibly figure out, and we also gave you a bunch of content to go with it, right? And I like that. I 100% like that.
I like the fact that the Skyrim horse can walk up 90-degree angles.
It's actually what Lurkbron's saying right now, that some bugs are useful, and I'm like, yes, the horse walking up 90-degree angles is how I got around whenever I didn't know how the heck to get from one point of the map to the other. I'm like, I'm just gonna walk up this mountain with my horse.
And nothing's gonna stop me.
Nothing's gonna stop me. These horses here are indestructible. But Brother Gamma, your number 4 is one that I've never heard of before. It's the Caligula effect for the PS Vita?
Yes.
Yeah.
It has a fabulous intro that every weeb will love.
Okay.
Love it.
Now, I'm
Now
guessing.
the gameplay.
Uh-huh.
That's when it gets interesting.
Why?
Because you gotta think of your environment
Mm-hmm.
affects both how you play and how your enemies play.
That's kind
If
of
you
interesting.
pull off a combo wrong,
Mhm.
that's gonna bite you in the butt.
So what? Like your combos just like manipulate the environment or something?
No, you use the environment to. You could use part of the environment to attack. Like you could jump off wall. You could jump. You could do a dash attack through the wall to get behind the enemy to do an attack on them.
Okay.
Do they still make PS Vitas?
In Japan, I think so. I think in Japan it was actually a huge success. Here,
It was like
Mine
that.
was-
I was like that.
My-
That was a
Yeah, go-
product that over here did not like do well.
right.
later.
Like
Bye, ladies.
everyone
Bukaria.
did,
Have fun.
by Spookaria.
We miss you.
I know over here, like a lot of people had like the Nintendo handheld devices, but I like thinking back, I can only think of like 2 guys I knew in high school that had a PS Vita,
Mhm.
and all they ever played was like Monster Hunter on it.
Yeah.
I will not lie to you. I did play Monster Hunter on the Vita too.
I had a Vita for like a little bit of time. Like the thing is, I could never figure out a good game to play on it. Like the
Let me ask you this.
uh,
Why are you saying the word had?
I don't have it anymore.
Why do you got rid of that emulation monster that you had
Well,
on
Firstly, because I found out that you could emulate way after the fact. Like nobody told me when I had it. Secondly, what's it called? I traded it for a laptop, which I needed at the time. So I was like, all right,
Arguably a better trade.
what's that?
Said arguably a better trade.
Arguably, yeah, I used it during my entire college career. So yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, it was a good trade.
Well, I play my version for free anyways because I emulate it.
You know, I play my version for free because I come from One Piece.
Yeah. And that was the hardest thing. Besides getting the PS Vita ready for the emulation, go through the whole process. Like, okay, this thing, I need to put a micro SD card to this other thing so that when my PS Vita can read it, no, the thing was too tight and it scratched up my micro SD card. So I gotta buy another thing that costs $20.
Yeah.
And do the same process over again. And after I have everything, there comes my little one and reboots my entire Vita and all my 100 hours plus on Caligula gone.
That sucks. That sucks so bad. But hey, you know what? We've all been there. My little sister saved over my Pokemon files one time, so yeah, like we've all been there. Every gamer that has been gaming for long enough knows that loss of save data is one of the real dangers of being a gamer.
Yeah. But otherwise, Caligula effect, if you get over the gameplay and you get better with the combos, it becomes such a good game. And some enemies, you cannot defeat them without pulling off a certain combo.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And each... Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, so like you have to use certain combos, but then like in doing so, you're manipulating your environment, which may in turn come back to bite you in the butt after.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because then sometimes some enemies come out from the back. You think that you're fighting one enemy, but there's an enemy further down that you didn't pay attention to, and it's coming to bite you right in the butt.
I think I see what you're saying. So basically, like, for example, like, you beat one enemy by dropping a bookcase on him, but then the bookcase blocks the exit. So now you're trapped with only one way to move, which is forward, but forward has enemies that you weren't expecting.
Exactly.
I see.
And each character either complements your playstyle or it will hurt you.
I see. Okay, that actually sounds kind of interesting. I might try that at some point.
If you like, from what I'm heard so far, it's a cheaper version of Persona.
I see. I think Lurkbron plays Persona, so maybe he can chime in and tell us about that. So let me see here. I think that there's still a very active, very big PS Vita, what's it called, community in Japan. Last I read about it, apparently, like, it failed hard here in the States, but over there it was actually like the handheld console of choice up until the release of the Switch, which suddenly just took off, right? So you know, like, it's interesting, you know, like, I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and some games for the Vita didn't came for the US either.
That's true, and I
either you. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I remember being really mad about that when I had my Vita because I saw all these cool games, but they were Japan exclusives.
Yep.
Yeah.
So unless you emulate them and hack your PS Vita, you're never gonna play them.
Sucks. But yeah.
And that's how I played Berserk too.
Berserk Warriors. But all right, so that's the Caligula Effect, a game I didn't know existed, but now I'm kind of interested in. Speaking of being interested in games, I'm not interested in my number 4 pick, Xenosaga.
Why?
Oh my god, this game was so look, I'm gonna just throw this out there, and this should be absolutely no surprise to anyone who knows me, but I'm a huge fan of JRPGs. I think they're fun, and I like them turn-based. I like them with an action system. I like them, you know, like what's it called, that are tactical. I think JRPGs are dope as hell. This was advertised as a JRPG, but this is a glorified movie. You know, like, there are so many cutscenes between so little amount of gameplay in this game that honestly, if they had just made it a movie, I would have been less mad at it. You know, like, just make it a movie, bro. Like, you didn't need like little clips here and there, like little 10-minute segments where I got to play a game between 30 minutes of cutscenes. You know, like, what's this about?
So, it's that type of game.
Yeah, so it's that type of game. And here's the thing. I don't know if this was just me or like if I was misunderstanding like what's like the how to exploit the game mechanics, but I felt like I was always under leveled. Like, I was never at an appropriate level for anything, and I feel like that's true because, like, whenever I would watch, like, you know, YouTube videos of people playing Xenosaga, they were always like so much they had so much better skills and so much better equipment and stuff like that. And I was thinking to myself, like, well, where did you get that? You're in the same chapter that I am, and I never saw any of these things, you know. So, like, I don't know if that was just me or if somebody had just hacked the game to make it a little easier on themselves. Who knows? But it is supposedly a really, really interesting story. So much so that they said, hey, you know what? What if we make this game like 90% story, 10% gameplay? It was just really, really frustrating. So I wanted to get through it. I mean, like, they released 3 different, three different installments of this game. They had Xenosaga 1, 2, and 3. And I guess I got through 1. But here's the thing. For as many cutscenes and as much story as they have in this game, I don't know what it's about. It's one of those games that has such a dense story and so much people talking about so many things that are just kind of like, hey, we're setting up this plot line to be paid off at a different game. You know, like, so yeah, we're setting this up now, but in Xenosaga 3, boy, oh, the setup is gonna pay off. And just, I'm like, sure, but give me some context, you know, because like otherwise I'm just sitting here wondering what the heck this thing is, you know. And like it doesn't help that, like, you know, it's like set in the future, so everything is like is referred to by an acronym, right? So it's like, oh, it's the UTIC organization, and we're using this thing, which is also an acronym, and this thing, which is also an acronym. And half the time I'm like, I don't even remember what any of this shit does. If you had just called it like open your main menu, I would have been like, okay, that's easy to understand. Why do you need to refer to everything by an acronym? It doesn't, it's so frustrating. But yeah, like I wanted to like this game and I didn't. And it's my understanding that later on they made an anime out of it. I tried to watch the anime. I didn't understand it. So it's just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not smart enough to get it. Maybe.
I mean, you said it, not me.
Yeah. Dare, your number 3 is Supreme Commander Forged Alliance.
Yeah.
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 It's horrible.
Okay.
Another teamwork game, but this one's like you have to super be in tune with the people you're playing with, because if not, then you're going to have a bad time.
How much of a bad time are you gonna have?
Like 4 hours of you just getting destroyed.
I see.
And then you lose.
And then you lose.
Yeah, it's one of those games that's like.
So this isn't a MOBA, is it? It's like a real-time
no,
strategy.
This is an RTS game from
right.
like years ago, which for as old as it is, there's still a lot of people that play Forged Alliance. They play. It's called Forged Alliance Forever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a it's like a modded version to where the games go a little quicker.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you have like a 4v4 game that for the first 30 minutes you're just building up an army, and then next thing you know, you have 4 armies knocking at your door, and you're like, oh, where's my team?
Where'd my team go? Oh no, that sucks. I hate it when that happens. It's also the reason why I don't play RTS, is because I have a problem with that, man. It's just like StarCraft. Tried StarCraft for a weekend, never again.
Oh, it's the resource management and everything.
Yeah,
gets me, because it's like, okay, I have plenty of resources. We're doing fine. Everything's good, and we're dead.
We are thriving, boys, and the next minute is like, we're not thriving, boys. That sucks.
We're the opposite of alive.
We are the opposite of alive. What's it called? Lurkbraun says that his next pick is Final Fantasy VII specifically. And here's what I have to say about that. I also dislike Final Fantasy VII.
I thought you were going to be like, you're wrong.
You're wrong. You're wrong, Bar.
No, I know, but like, now hear me out. I liked it once.
Which Final Fantasy though?
7.
The new one or the old one?
Doesn't matter. And here's the reason why. Hear me out. I used to like it, but here's the thing. I feel like Square Enix has milked it dry. I hate it whenever they release something new Final Fantasy VII, because I know that they don't care about making a good game. They care about making money. And that drives me nuts, because I was like, this was a really good, really fantastic world. I liked it. Tifa is my number 1 waifu. But like, I'm so tired of seeing it, you know. I'm like, dude, like, you had other Final Fantasy games that were really good. 10 was amazing, but we don't revisit 10, you know. We don't revisit 8. You know, like you had so many good ones, but 7, you know, 7's your poster boy, so that's the one that gets all the attention. And I'm like, it's kind of lame, you know. Like let's hear about other Final Fantasy properties. But
9 is pretty good.
Yeah, 9 is pretty good. Yeah. There's a, and this is me going off into a tangent, and I'll try to keep it short. I apologize there, but let's.
Do you apologize?
I do. There's a community making a voiceover mod for Final Fantasy IX on Steam, and I'm actually playing a few of the characters on it. So Final Fantasy IX on Steam coming soon. Voice mod Bard plays a Moogle.
Yeah, Koopa.
Koopa. But anyway, carry on. There, you were saying.
What was I saying?
Yeah, you were saying.
Oh,
yeah.
Fun game, bad game. People bad at game.
People
die.
Yeah, resource management has always been like the way, and you know it surprises me because you're like, hey, I play EDH. EDH is a game of all resource management, and
I'm bad at that too.
Are you?
Arguably, here in the recent times, I've been being told that I've become more of a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I'm not great at the resource management stuff. I just want to kind of like throw everything out there and just like swing at people.
Yeah.
And then I die.
Yeah. Pimp Demon says, Moogle, isn't that a Kingdom Hearts character? Yeah, like the Moogles in Kingdom Hearts are based off of the Moogles in Final Fantasy. So, yeah.
Well, isn't Kingdom Hearts supposed to be like a crossover?
Yeah, it's a crossover of Disney and Final Fantasy. So, you know, like Moogles, which are Final Fantasy characters, show up in Kingdom Hearts, and so do some Final Fantasy characters like Cloud and Squall and, you know, them. You know, where you also have some Disney characters like Pete and Maleficent and Mickey Mouse. So, yeah. But that being said, let's carry on here. Gamma, your number 3 is Battletoads.
Love-hate relationship with it.
All I remember from Battletoads is the motorcycle level.
That's exactly why I hate it. That's the only reason why I hate it.
I see people doing speedruns of Battletoads on YouTube, and it drives me nuts that they're so talented and skilled. And I'm like, I always felt so stupid when I was playing this game.
I love the way that it plays, and then when it gets to the stage of that motorcycle part, I just keep dying. There goes all my hard work.
And I guess. I'm sorry. Like, I guess it's one thing whenever it's like a game that you own on your own console, right? But I only ever played Battletoads on like arcade cabinets, so every time you die, that's another 50 cents that you have to put into the machine.
I rented the game back when Blockbuster was a thing.
I miss Blockbuster so much.
What's Blockbuster?
Well, let's go ahead and have a seat over here, old chap.
You see, young'un, back in our day, we didn't have the Netflix and the streaming.
We had to walk across the many streets just to get that movie we wanted. Game.
You had to pop your cassette into your Sony Walkman and put on your roller skates and your fanny pack to skate down to the Blockbuster at the shopping mall.
I like that you're doing this even though you know full well that I'm only like 2 years younger than you.
You're only 2 years younger than me?
I'm pretty sure, unless I'm misremembering how old you told me you were.
Okay. So, I'm older than you?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think Gambit, you and I are probably about the same age, I think. Dare is younger than both of us.
Well, good old times at Blockbuster, you always came with a movie and a bag of popcorn.
And King of Canadian Hill says, back in my day, we played ping pong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ping pong. Like Balls of Fury.
That was such a good movie. That was an underrated movie.
Yeah.
Like, no, everybody that I show that movie to thinks that it's a dumb movie, but I think it's so funny.
Me too. I think it's hilarious.
Ping pong is not the Macarena. I was like, what does that mean? Anyway, carrying on. You were saying Battletoads.
I heard that it's easier on the NES version of it, since the Super Nintendo version is the fastest version and kind of polished.
Huh.
Yep.
What?
And those are the reasons why I hate Battletoads.
Well,
and I haven't played it for over a decade or so.
You can't even like download it to your PS Vita?
I could.
Okay, so
but like I mentioned earlier,
uh-huh.
my kid rebooted my PS Vita.
Oh, so you'd have to go through that whole process all over again.
Yeah, so even though it's hack in quotations, I gotta find the emulators to actually make games playable.
I see. Well, yeah. The King of Canadian Hill says that the Battletoads cartoon was pretty okay. But whenever I was searching for the image that you see before you here, it was the first time that I knew that there was a Battletoads cartoon. I actually had no idea.
And the intro for that Super Nintendo game was just plain awesome.
Yeah. I remember back when video games used to start with like heavy metal and a bunch of flashing lights.
Yeah.
Next episode of the Battle Phase podcast, we're gonna watch all of Battletoads and then discuss what we liked about it.
Sure.
So my number 3 is the Sonic 3D Blast.
Why is it not Sonic 06?
Because I never played Sonic 06. I think this was Sonic 06 before Sonic 06.
You don't have to play Sonic 06 to be frustrated and angry with it.
Yes. So see, that wasn't. I never played Sonic 06. I played Sonic 96, according to this image, because this was his first, the first time that they tried to put him into 3D, and just they made all of the wrong choices. You know, like the game was weird, and they put the camera above, like a fixed camera above Sonic, right? So running felt unintuitive. It was clunky, and it sometimes you would want to go in one direction, but like tilting your D-pad in like the wrong way would just like make you spin in a circle in place. It was super easy, and you didn't get any of the feeling of speed or momentum. There was bumpers and stuff that would push you around, but like I'm like in this 3D environment, it's super weird. Because like it's super easy for Sonic to just fall off the edge, because there's nothing to prevent him from not. Like bridges were the worst, because you're crossing over these log bridges, and again, unless you have absolute 100% mastery of the way that your D-pad is going, Sonic can tilt to one direction or the other. It was almost like you were trying to balance Sonic on a flat surface, if that makes any freaking sense. You know, like if you tilt him too much in one direction, he falls off the edge. If you tilt him too much in the other direction, he falls off the edge. But either direction that you're tilting him in, he just spins in place. So it was just clunky. You know, like it had all of the charm of a Sonic game. I mean, like you had like really fun levels, like the ice level, the fire level, etc. And yeah, you know, it's a Sonic game. The bosses were fun. As a matter of fact, the boss music is one of my favorites to this day. It was just really, really good. Lurkbraun says, I'm slightly offended for 3D Blast. The music is good, and I could control him well. Well, you are better at the game than I was, because I felt like he was really not unreactive. I think he was a little too reactive. Like it didn't matter what you did on your controller. Sonic was overly eager to follow that direction. So yeah, you know, like not a bad game. It's just it was it was hard to look at. Like it was a little painful on the eyes. Sonic was hard to control. And sometimes, you know, in the new 3D environment, because of the way that the camera was fixed, a lot of things weren't obvious. Like, you know, like some enemies would be just off screen, right? And unless you walked to the point where they were on screen, you would have no idea that they were there. Also, dodging was really, really weirdly clunky, because since enemies can move in a 3D environment and Sonic moves weird, sometimes you'd be trying to dodge and you would end up falling in the way of their attack. So it was weird. Music was good. I mean, I was excited to see Sonic in 3D. I got horrible motion sickness from this game. And so, I mean, it is what it is. It's not as bad as Sonic 06. So, Dare, your number 2 was Banished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking hate this game.
10 out of 10 hate?
Care to elaborate?
This is SimCity, but like in the 1700s.
Okay.
The whole goal is to make a city that is able to thrive on its own. So you need to like collect resources. You need to make sure everyone has like places to live.
Mm-hmm.
After the first winter,
Mm-hmm.
well, no, not even after. During the first winter, like everyone dies.
Oh God.
Like, the notification noise just goes off incessantly saying, "You're out of food. You're out of wood. Your people are starving. Your people are starving. Your people are starving. Your people are dying. Your people are dying."
Oh wow!
So it's like Oregon Trail, but on crack.
Well, if I'm assuming if you're good at it, no. But apparently, I'm just not good at it.
Oh no!
And like I've watched tutorials, and it's like you need to pause the game when you start, and then lay out how you want everything to be built, and then you continue. And it's like, okay, I did that, so we're gonna win. And no, it doesn't work. It never works out, and everyone just dies. And then you start getting the notification that your graveyards are full. Build another graveyard.
King of Canadian Hills says that it sounds like the Settlers of Catan. Have you ever?
I've not played.
Yeah, neither have I. I see it all the time.
Catan.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's pull your hair out simulator.
Like, why won't these people just live? I kind of imagine it's like everything I do, they just die. What am I supposed to do?
Well, like, if you look at the screenshots from the game, they have like these big cities and everything, and everyone. There's like markets and everything, and then you play the actual game, and it's like, oh, it's nothing like that at all. You just die over and over and over again. And then your city's abandoned because everyone's dead. And you gotta start again.
I
think the longest I got in the game was like 2 years. Because I'm bad.
2 years?
Like real life years, or they live for 2 in-game years? 2
in-game years.
Okay.
And
I was like, if you got them to live for 2 years, you're doing pretty well. Like at that point, I would have asked, like, what happened to go so catastrophically wrong?
Well, the first winter didn't kill me off because I got lucky with the map that it spawned me on.
Okay.
And I had plenty of food and everything. The second year, though, is like all of the people started dying from old age. And their children were like homeless. And okay.
That is just too real.
So they got way too old in 2 years.
I mean, dude, that's the same. Like, when I turned 30, I felt fine. 2 years later, I don't know.
I'm just like looking through some of the screenshots here, and like, there's one. The event log says that Rick the Hunter was killed by a cave-in. Why is Rick in a mine?
Why is Rick in a mine?
Why is Rick hunting for animals in a mine? There's a GIF of a bridge going over water, and all the cows, instead of going over the bridge, are going through the river. It's like,
what?
take a step to the left and you'll be golden.
You're like, okay, so let me get this straight. All of my villagers are dying because they're dumb.
Pretty much.
That sucks. Gosh darn it, Rick.
Burn the vendor was stabbed to death.
Maybe he shouldn't hike his prices so high. Lord, that is pretty wild. Do I need to make your grave, Bard? No, it's all good, Lurkbron. I have made arrangements for people to do with my remains what I saw in a documentary once, where they just put them on a really high platform and let vultures have at it.
Event log. A child named Demon was born.
Oh.
Whoa.
That's probably fine.
I don't know if these are doctored or actual images, but they're great.
Pimp Demon says, did you accidentally put your PC on your NPC on stupid mode there?
Apparently. Spring 25, Earl, E-A-R-L, the forester, died during childbirth.
What?
Whoa.
This one has a child named Demon was born, and then a child named Bridge was born. It's just the game is horrible. It's great. You should play it.
Pimp Demon says, a demon was born, so I was born. There he is. Alright, Brother Gabbo, you're number 2. And I remember this being one of Dare's favorites, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Roses.
I just hate it. I just hate it.
Why? Yeah, tell us why. I'm getting conflicting accounts here.
Okay. I played the actual card game
Uh-huh.
before playing this game. And this game was one of the games that I rented at Blockbuster.
Okay, so like there's the mistake you made. You can't Yu-Gi-Oh video games, you can't trust that they're playing on the same rules. A lot of the times they're not. As a matter of fact, one of the ones that I scrapped from my list was Yu-Gi-Oh Forbidden Memories, because that was not the same.
See, I would have been understanding if it was Forbidden Memories, because that game was just needlessly hard for no reason.
Yeah.
Duelist of the Rose, that was a good game.
Yeah, like
yeah, it wasn't like a typical Yu-Gi-Oh game, but Duelist of the Rose was amazing.
It's also a tactical RPG, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I'd say so.
You see a pattern here. I do not like those that much.
You didn't like tactical RPGs. I see now. Okay.
So you don't like Bard. I see.
And then the crazy thing is like, okay, let me fuse these 2 monsters. I know that on the card game, if I fuse these 2 monsters, they're gonna make this. On the game, you don't make that.
Yeah.
Well, with the game, the way I figured out how the fusion stuff works on that. It's like a zombie type and a plant type will make like wicked wood, and then wicked wood plus another plant type makes pumpkin. So it was just like, what 2 types? You're fusing the types to make the fusion. So like a dragon with a machine would make the metal dragon.
My strongest monsters that I fused at all times was Thunder Dragon.
I always just use zombie decks because you could just put 3 pumpkins on the field and just sit with them around you so no one could attack you. And they just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. and then you face Bakura, and he uses Change of Heart and one-shots you.
Oh, that's great. No, this is one that I've actually actively been looking for since I have a PlayStation 2, and I was like, okay, you know what? If I ever find it, I'm gonna try it. But
I know a place that you can find it.
Where?
You emulate
it. You could find it in my apartment.
Oh.
Sitting on my rack of PS2 games that I have.
Neat.
In other words, he's telling you to come on over, Brony. Let's spend some time together.
Legitimately, if you come up to visit again sometime, if you bring your PS2, we'll fucking sit and play it.
Sweet. Yeah, we could do that. I'll bring my PS2 next time. Full disclosure, the moment you see my PS2, you're going to be like, what the hell happened to it? Look.
Hey, if it works, I could care less what it looks like.
It works. It fell off the top of my car while I was driving, but for some reason that sucker's still kicking.
Whoa. Why was it on the top of your car?
Because I told my homie that I was riding with, hey, put the PS2 away. And he was like, okay, sure. So he was supposed to pop it into my trunk, and he put it on top of the car so that he could open the door and put his drink in the cup holder. And between opening the door and putting his drink in the cup holder, he forgot that it was on the top of the car. I thought he had thrown it in the trunk, or at least into the back seat. So I took off, and it just whoosh.
Wow.
Yeah. I was not happy. But
I got rid of my PS2 not that long ago.
I mean, it's understandable, but like at the same time, it's I held on to it because of the memories.
The forbidden memories.
I did play Forbidden Memories on my PS2. I didn't have it for PS1. But like, and also, yeah, Forbidden Memories is just so much harder though, man. Because like, if you remember, to get to the final boss, you had to beat 6 really strong enemies back to back to back, and you couldn't lose. Because if you lost, they put you back to square one.
You hear that hatred? I hear it loud and clear.
Pimp Demon says he might also visit you, Dare, and that there's nothing you can do to stop him.
I mean, I'm all for this. I'm all for this.
Dare's all like, please come visit.
It's like Dare's gonna have a house party.
Yeah.
I have a PS2, but I don't know if it's like the motor in it or what, but it won't like spin the disc.
Oh.
Yeah, you need to change that motor in it. But so we ready for my number 2?
Yeah, I want to know what your number 2 is.
Okay.
I think we just end knowing that Gamma's betrayed us.
Really? You're talking like that to the champion?
to the champion. I'd like to point out that even when I was a champion, I did not let it go to my head like this.
Hey, kind of did.
There is my witness on this. Every time I logged in onto Discord, hey, 6-time champion over here. Every day, just have to see it until it was taken down by a fraction of a second by Sky, and then you go like, hey, returning champion again.
That's true. I mean, you can't argue with facts. The cream rises to the top and all that. My number 2 is Star Ocean Till the End of Time. Originally, this was Dance Dance Revolution. And here's the thing about Dance Dance Revolution is I never played it willingly. Every time that I played Dance Dance Revolution, it's because I was hanging with a group of friends, and we were at the arcade, and everybody wanted to play Dance Dance Revolution, and I felt like an idiot afterwards because I am not very coordinated. So they'd be busting a move on there, dancing to like the you know the one, I'm a little butterfly, that one, yeah, and I couldn't do anything about that. I just ended up looking foolish in front of my crush. What the heck did you invite me for? Anyway, But here's the thing. I never played Dance Dance Revolution willingly. This one I did play willingly because it was super hyped up. At the time, I was a subscriber to the Shonen Jump monthly magazine. They would send you the magazine in the mail. And you know, like they posted an article about this. Was like Star Ocean till the end of time. It's an action RPG, boy. It's an action JRPG. And here's the thing. The game is so insane. It has 8 different endings for a vast cast of characters. You know, you have so many characters. You can have 4 in your party at the same time. And depending on how you do things, because your decisions matter, there's 8 different endings. And to me, that was baller as hell. I was like, oh, you mean to tell me that I get to replay this game over and over to like get 8 different endings? That sounds awesome. And then you get to it and you find out that the 8 different endings are really, really stupid. So it's like an epilogue, right? So like, you know, like the game ends. And by the way, so the game ends and then they add one of 8 different endings at the end to be like, oh, and then these characters lived happily ever after, right? So like it almost doesn't matter. Like those endings almost don't matter. But here's the thing about it. The ending of this game is so stupid. Because it's like, okay, so and I'm gonna spoil it because honestly, don't play this game. But
wow.
But here's basically what it is. You and your characters are traveling across the universe. In you know, like you're going from like your advanced civilization into a planet that's in the Middle Ages, and for some reason the advanced genetic modifications you've had done on yourself are the same thing as magic in this world. So people who use magic in that world and you who have been genetically amplified to do things, same thing, you know, like there's no difference. Your advanced science is the same thing as their magic, whatever. So like, you know, you go through this adventure trying to figure out what's going on with the world, and it turns out all along you were characters in a game.
What?
Yes. So you figure out that you're characters in a game, but somehow through your science you manage to escape the game and go to fight the guy who programmed the game.
So you break the 4th wall.
Yeah. And so you fight the guy who programmed the game, right? And he's a tough boss. Okay, yeah, I'll give it that. But so you go to fight the guy who programmed the game, and then guess what? He deletes the game.
Oh, wow.
So he deletes the game, and the way that this resolves is it's like, oh no, the game's being deleted, but I'm part of the game. That means I'm being deleted. Oh no, we're all dying. We're all disappearing. Ah! Scream fades to white, and then next thing you know, all of your characters are standing side by side. It's like, wait a minute, we didn't disappear. And it's like, oh well, you see, the thing about that is, I think that he programmed the game, but ever since, we all just kind of took a life of our own. And because we are aware and conscious to the fact that we have life, that means that our life is our own, and it doesn't matter if he deletes the game because we continue to exist. It's I think, therefore I am. And I'm like, oh, what the hell is this?
That's how the rise of the machines happened.
I was like, you mean to tell me that this entire time we're panicking because this creator could delete our world, but it doesn't matter because we're alive and he can't take that away from us? What the hell is this? It was the dumbest thing. I was like, this was the yeah, what a twist. Yes, this was the dumbest Shyamalan twist of anything I've ever seen. I was like, what in the world? And then like the character endings, the one of 8 different character endings is like, oh, did Fate and Sophia go on vacation? They did. Congratulations. That's one of your different endings. I was like, what the I was so mad. I was like, this is so dumb. I got one character ending. I didn't even bother for the other 7. I was like, nah, I don't care. So, Dare, your number 1 is Dota 2.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
I thought it was your favorite.
I mean, favorite's something you can say, I guess. Yeah, it's a 5v5 game where you once again have to rely on your teammates to not be potatoes. And each time you hit the play Dota button, you get mashed with 4 potatoes. So you just have to sit there for about an hour listening to people call you all variety of words, and then you lose. And you hit the button again because you can't end on a loss. You just end on more anger and frustration.
Can't end on a loss. 3 days later, I was like, can't end on a loss. So,
yeah, pretty much.
Yikes. So wait, the video game ending thing happened in Persona as well? Did they at least handle it better? I have to know, because Star Wars Until the End of Time was dumb. But, so yeah, like, that's one of the biggest thing about MOBA games there, is that, given the fact that you're actually having to play with other humans, sometimes you're the smart one, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and humans are terrible.
Yeah, and humans are terrible. So, and I think that we've had this conversation before, that, you know, people log on to a game to enjoy it in their own way, and a lot of the times their way of enjoying the game doesn't line up with your way of enjoying the game. And it makes for some frustrating interactions, because you're trying to, you would try to do one thing one way because in your mind this is how the game should be played, whereas they staunchly disagree, and so you just end up on a team with somebody who just does not click with you. Yeah.
Or you get matched up with 4 people who don't click with anybody, and then you have to struggle through 30 minutes to an hour to 2 hours of people being bad at life.
And that's probably the worst part about it, is that, you know, like, it's long rounds. It's
yeah, and you can't just leave because then you get punished for that.
Right.
Oh.
So it's pretty much like every time you hit the play button, you're signing yourself for like a hostage negotiations like scenario.
Pimp Demon says, Bard, did you want them to die? No, I didn't want them to die, but I would have loved a resolution that wasn't so dumb. You know, like, so dumb as like, oh no, the world is ending. Anyway, you know? But yes, teamwork doesn't make the dream work, says Lord Braun, in regards to Dota 2.
But there, you don't get to pick your teammates, like if, for example, Bard gets to join the game.
I mean, if Bard plays the game, I can play with Bard.
Yeah, and, that's what I mean.
Be in a party with him, so he's on my team. But
yeah,
Bard doesn't play.
True.
And if Bard did play, I wouldn't play with him because Bard's new.
Yes, he's new.
teaching people how to play the game is horrible.
Wow, I was gonna say, hey, you could invite your homies so that you play with them. There's like, nope. Oh, sorry. Go ahead there.
Did we lose him?
There.
Did you?
There, you got me worried.
Did you? Oh, I went off on a rant.
Oh, okay.
And you didn't even hear any of it.
No, we heard none of it.
Yeah, I want to hear the rant.
Yeah, well, I said I had a point in my life where every time I met a new person, I tried to like teach them how to play Dota, but it's fucking miserable teaching people how to play Dota, and I'm not gonna do it because there's too much for them to like take in, and I either have to create a new account each time because I've played Dota for like the past 11 years, so whenever I start playing, the game recognizes, oh hey, this guy's skill level is better than other people at like this amount of playtime, so he's a smurf. We'll bump him up to like higher skill level.
Yeah, that's another thing. The matchmaking, it goes off of your skill level. So playing with a newbie is.
And it doesn't match based on like the least experienced person in your party. It matches based on the most experienced person in the party. So it brings any like low level people up to my level, and then it's just like, oh,
it's like get on my level, scrubs.
Now we're ruining the game for like the other people on the team.
Yeah,
so that's just great.
Imagine that, you know, like you're physically fit, right? And you go and you enroll in the army, but before they put you through any training, they just put you with the most experienced general, and they just drop you in the middle of an active war zone. Just like, all right.
It's about what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, have fun. Do your best. So you have mortars going off next to your face, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, so it's understandable, and you know, like this, as you said, as I see you booting into Dota via Steam, what's it called? It is what it is, you know. Like sometimes the games that you love most are the ones that hurt you most for a bunch of different reasons.
The only reason why I'm booting in because I was listening to the music earlier, and then when you guys started going, "Where is he?" I was like, "Okay, I probably have to back out."
All right, so Gamma, your number one is Virtua Fighter.
Virtua Fighter.
Yeah.
The game that Tekken made better.
So this isn't a Tekken game? No, this is.
Is.
Oh, so Virtua Fighter
specific.
And I see.
Everything is so specific on Virtua Fighter that pulling off a combo requires the most diligent movement on your controller.
So
unlike Tekken, you could just go crazy like the kid that just grabs the controller and just smashes button, and you get to do cool stuff.
Right.
Over here, you try that, it's not gonna work. And I just hated that. I hated Virtua Fighter.
Yeah, you know, fighting games in general, I mean, honestly, like, my entire list could have been fighting games because I'm so bad at them. But, like, fighting games in general, especially when you're playing against a skilled opponent, you know, are just such a pain. Because, like, for one thing, they never come with a tutorial that teaches you, right? Like, hey, you want to play this character? Here's a couple of things to keep in mind. Usually it's just like, hey, here's your character, choose whichever one you think looks coolest and then get in there and punch the other dude. Is there secret moves? Of course there is. Are we gonna tell you? Hell nah.
Nah.
Yeah.
There was practice on it, but pulling it off, it was too much of pain.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Tekken, I'm like, okay, there's Tekken 3. What am I gonna main? I'm gonna main Brian. And I've been maining Brian since Tekken 3, all the way till Tekken 6.
Nice. Well, I guess the good thing about Virtua Fighter is that you realized how much you love Tekken instead.
Yes, I just despise Virtua Fighter. They got cool characters, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I think that Yoshimitsu may have...
Yoshimitsu.
No, not Yoshimitsu. Yoshimitsu doesn't appear in Virtua Fighter, I take that back.
Yeah.
It's the Ninja Gaiden guy. He appears on it.
Oh, Ryo Hayabusa?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, it is what it is. You know, like, fighting games, I feel like that's a genre that, like, some people gravitate to and some people are really, really good at. Like, my best friend of, like, 20 years growing up was excellent at fighting games, and he would always want to play them, but I hated playing against him because it's BS that he can beat me so easy, and I'm struggling so hard to just stay alive.
Well, why don't you just get better?
You know, like, that's what he asked all the time, and my answer to that is, I'm trying!
It's like when you came up here and I just kept beating you in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's like, you should just get better.
Yeah.
Don't fact check that.
Yeah. So,
I'm gonna fact check this.
So
Get good, board.
I try, but like every game that I put my mind to, I try really hard to get good, and it looks like I'm good enough to reach platinum rank at a lot of them, but I'm never good enough to reach like the top rank. It's weird. Like, you know, we could talk about, like, you know, for example, like the one that comes to mind because it's the one that I play the most is Master Duel. I'm a good Yu-Gi-Oh player. I'm not diamond rank good. You know, like I can make it to platinum pretty easy. I can't make it to diamond. You know, like every time I'm like platinum 2, platinum 1, I'm just trying to like make my way to diamond, and I keep ranking down, and I'm always like, man, you know, so I feel like it's like that with every game that I try, and particularly with fighting games, it's weird because I feel like if I was trying to rank up in fighting games, I couldn't even make it out of silver. I promise you, like, because I'm just not as coordinated, not as quick on the jump, you know.
Mortar called you out.
Yeah, skill issue. No, it's true. You know, like it is true. I 100% agree that, you know, like it's a skill issue. Additionally, it's possible that fighting games just aren't my genre, you know, which sucks because I like them, you know. I like the variety of characters. I like the variety of moves. Mordor and I used to play Soul Calibur, and he is categorically better at Soul Calibur than I am. 100%. I used to get so frustrated with him because, you know, like he was so good at Soul Calibur, and I was just button mashing the whole time trying to get a win. But yeah, so it is what it is. You know, like sometimes a game genre just isn't for you, and fighting games aren't it for me, baby. That said, my number one, I couldn't make up my mind. Overwatch or League of Legends. And I think that this comes down to what Dare says. This is not so much the title. This is so much the category, which is MOBA games. Because MOBA games have a tendency to be the thing that, you know, you either play with friends and get mad at them for not being good, or you play with strangers and get mad at them for not being good. So, I've played both of these. League of Legends, not so much. I've tried League of Legends, and my biggest difficulty with League of Legends is that I find the learning curve to be really steep. I have played Overwatch a lot ever since it released. I actually got it the day it was released, and I played it on again, off again since, and I got pretty good at it. You know, like I'm actually pretty intuitive at Overwatch. Again, not like professional level or anything like that, but you know, like I can hold my own in most fights. The thing about that is, whenever you start getting good at a game, and this goes back to what Dare was saying about Dota, these games tend to have a matchmaking system, and the matchmaking system is based off of, like, you know, your particular skill level. So the game keeps track of like how much you win, how much you lose, how good your technical play is, etc. And so they'll match you with people who should be on equal level. Should be being the operative word here, because for some reason, a lot of the times whenever they match you with strangers, I feel like I'm the only one doing anything on this team.
Well, that's how it is, right? They match you with the people that they feel like are on your level, but they match you against pros.
Yes, exactly. So like they're I'm like, stop matching me with people on my skill level. My skill level sucks. Put me on a team with better people. But yeah, so that's basically what it is. Is, you know, like the matchmaking is never 100% accurate. Like, you know, you get good fights every now and then. I've played games of Overwatch where I was like, hey, that was a good back and forth, you know? But like a lot of the times though, I mean, like, and it depends on the day, you know, because it's not every time. Like, I've logged into games of Overwatch where I've won 9 games in a row, no problem. And I've also logged into games of Overwatch where I didn't win a single game, no matter how hard I tried. So, you know, like, it's kind of that. So, like, the matchmaking, the team aspect, that you have to trust that the rest of your team is here with a similar mentality to you. You know, so like for example, Overwatch is a game that has many different game modes, and the game modes range from like, oh, okay, so you have a point on the map that you're supposed to protect. Don't let the enemy team capture it, or you're escorting a payload from one point of the map to the other point of the map. You can't let the enemy team have it, or the enemy team is on top of this point. You want that point, go knock them off of it. You know. So like there's a bunch of different ways to play Overwatch, but it feels like, given what it is, that it's a shooter game. Most people who haven't been playing Overwatch for a long time will log on with the idea that, oh, it's Call of Duty, you know, so you basically shoot the other guys, they die, and the more kills at the end wins. That's not what it is. I'm like, you have an objective, and if you're not playing to the objective, the enemy team is gonna win. So, you know, every now and then you'll get on a team, and like all of you are the one that goes into this team with the mind of like, okay, so we're playing escort the payload, so stay with the payload. But the rest of your team is just Leroy Jenkins, and their whole plan is just like, oh, we got enemies, let's chase them and let's shoot them. I'm like, stay in formation. What are you doing? Why are you away from the payload? You know, like, get back on the payload. So it's a huge mess, and it's the same thing for like whenever you're protecting the objective. You know, like, okay, so your opponents want to be on the point. Don't let them on the point. So I'm like, okay, so we should stay on the point. Why are you guys chasing the enemy away from the point? You know, like when they pull you away from the point, that means the point is open for them to take. I don't understand how that's hard, you know, but like it comes down to, you know, to a mentality. Like, are you here to play the game the way the game should be played, or is there a way that the game should be played at all? Or do you have it in your head that this is the way that it should be played, but in reality there's more than one way? Like, for example, what Lurkbraun says. Your opponents can't capture the point if they're all dead. So, sure, you know, if you chase them down and you make sure you knock them out, the point is secured. And so, like, but the thing is, you have to jive with your team. And that's very hard because, like Dare said, sometimes people are awful. It's just... and I put League of Legends on here because I tried it a couple of times, and I kind of had like the same situation that he was mentioning in Dota, where I'm the newbie, so everyone else automatically realizes that I'm the newbie, and they want nothing to do with me. They're like, oh, yeah, we're paired up with a newbie. Well, we're gonna lose. And the thing about League of Legends, unlike Overwatch, well, Overwatch 2 a little bit to a lesser degree. League of Legends has a chat function, and in the chat function, everybody's very happy to let you know how terrible you are at the game and why you should uninstall it immediately. So
yeah, and that you're also being reported 16 times,
and you're being reported 16
times. You should stop doing the living thing.
Yeah, stop doing the living thing. So
wow, that's quite toxic.
The thing about League of Legends is that it is known for having the most toxic fan base. So, you know, it's rough. It's really rough to play League of Legends and get good at it. You have to go into it having really thick skin. Overwatch generally isn't as toxic. It can be, but most of the time not. But you suffer from a lot of the same problems, where if you're the new guy, you're going to be struggling to figure out what to do while you're just getting killed, because the enemy team can tell very easily that you're the new guy. So, you know, it is what it is. I love the wide variety of characters in both. I love the design elements in both. I generally am happy that League of Legends is branching out to do different things like TV series and comics and stuff like that, because then I can enjoy their world without playing their game. I think I like that. Overwatch doesn't do that. And recently they had a huge controversy that made me uninstall the game. I'm just not willing to put up with their crap anymore. So...
Oh, do tell.
Well, we talked about this in our main phase, but just to summarize it, basically, they recently released a sequel, which is Overwatch 2. And they switched from a loot box system to a battle pass. So now you have to pay money to get the cosmetics that you were going to be, that you were just going to have to grind for otherwise, right? So before you used to grind, you used to get in-game currency. You could exchange the in-game currency for whatever you wanted. But, you know, like there was a huge fuss about like, oh, well, loot boxes are technically pay to win, blah, blah, blah. Parents who have never played a game and don't understand what cosmetics do, right? So they thought that getting a new skin made you more powerful. That wasn't the case. But Blizzard, you know, not wanting to lose money, decided, okay, sure, well, how about we just switch to a battle pass? That way, you know, you pay for the battle pass. And I'm like, you're paying all the same. You know, like, I don't understand. Anyway, like before you were able to grind to get what you wanted. Now you can't grind to get what you want. You have to have the battle pass. And, the Overwatch 2 was promised to deliver a couple of things. Number one, new characters, new maps, new game modes, and what they called like a hero missions, which were basically players versus the environment. You would get on a team with up to 3 other players, and you would play basically a level. Which was just you and your homies versus the level. So it was like your homies are teaming up together to play a game together, but it's like playing duo on like Resident Evil. You know, you're not playing against each other, you're playing against the game, right? And the game director, Jeff Kaplan at the time, and this is something that I've heard via like the Overwatch community, like that supposedly his idea was this is going to be very RPG inspired. The more you play these hero levels, the more you'll be able to unlock abilities for your characters that they don't have in the PvP. These are abilities that you can use in the hero missions, and you know they're really cool. You know, like you're basically leveling up your character like you would in an RPG. And after, so I forget when they announced Overwatch 2. I think it was like 2 years ago. Or no, actually 4 years ago, something like that. And they released Overwatch 2, but what it is like, hey, it's Overwatch 1, except that now you have a battle pass. Yeah, you have new characters, new maps, and a new game mode, sure. But, you know, here's the thing that we sold you on, because, you know, like Overwatch 2 was going to be free to play unless you wanted the hero missions, at which point you had to pay for it, right? But I was interested in the hero missions myself so that I could play with my wife, and so, and here's what they ended up saying. It's like, oh yeah, you know, you can pay us right now for the hero missions and we'll just give them to you whenever they launch. And then after 4 years, they're like, you know what about those hero missions? Turns out it's hard to design a game. So, nah, we decided to cancel them. Just cancel the whole game. Nah. So you can continue playing Overwatch 2, which is basically just Overwatch 1. But the hero missions, nah, not going to happen. No, thank you. We're good.
That was quite a rant right there.
Yeah. So it frustrated me because, you know, like, I don't know. I was mad about it because it was something that I was expecting. And, like, I didn't pay for it because I was like, I'll pay for it whenever you release it. How about that? And I'm happy that I didn't, because there's a lot of people out there trying to get their refunds now, you know, because they promised something that they didn't deliver. And, you know, apparently it's just, yeah, like Blizzard was just like, you know what? You know what makes money? CSGO, like Call of Duty, you know, games where you just put people versus each other. You know what we don't want to do? Make Overwatch something that isn't that. So in the end, they were like, you know, the hero missions don't sound profitable. We're just not going to do it. So just kind of meh. But anyway, that's it for our picks. Excellent picks, guys. Thank you guys for letting us know what your picks were in the chat. Our next stream should be on the 28th. And now I'm saying that tentatively because there might be something that comes up for me on the 28th. I might not be able to make it. If I do make it, it'll be our Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel tournament. But if I don't make it, we'll push that until next month. However, we should have, let's see, 1, 2, probably 3 Let's Play Fire Emblem engages coming this week, which will probably be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And if Dare is available for our Friday main phase stream, we will do that too. But that's basically the tentative schedule for this coming week. There's a lot of stuff going on, so like we might need to shuffle some stuff around. I'll let you guys know. Check out the community tab, because I'm updating on the community tab right now. So if there's any changes in the schedule, I will post it there. If you're part of the Discord server, you will know in advance. And otherwise, you guys got anything else to say about your favorite games? Or
no.
Most frustrating?
Favorites.
Yeah.
Oh, frustrating.
The most frustrating ones? All right, but yeah, so okay, nice choices, guys. And until next time, remember, socks, keep your feet warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Pimp Demon, you have not heard about our Discord server? In that case, let us extend the invitation to you. But here's the thing, like for some reason, invitations don't show up in the, what do you call it, in the chat when we drop it in the chat. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna post it in the description to this video. So check back in like 5 minutes once it's in the description, and then you can click and join us in the Discord server. But until next time, guys, I have been your favorite bard, Sulbek Kamelek. He has been the co-host with the most ghosts, Hamufan and Borganon Derringer.
I'm a flag of Langerman.
And Brother Gamma has joined us today too.
Yeah.
Yeah! Do you want a fancy
Yeah.
name? Should I come up with a fancy name?
Sure.
Shoot. Let me think.
Sure, you could come up with a fancy name. That's still not gonna make you the champion of the next tournament. No, sir.
Siegfried von Torgendargen. That's your new fancy name. Siegfried von Torgendargen. Thank you guys for joining us. King of Canadian Hill, Pimp Demon, Lork Braun, Lord Mordor, Lady Spookaria was here for a little while. Pimp Demon, I think I said twice now. Yeah.
And Pimp Demon.
And Pimp Demon. Thank you guys.
And Helix and Pimp Demon.
Yeah. We'll catch you guys
and
in the next one.
And Pimp Demon.
Remember to check the description here in 5 minutes when I drop the link in it, okay? Adios.
Bye.
I'm having a hard time adiosing.